Yeah, I had a little bit of difficulty trying to pick out what I needed to make content warnings for,
Oh, yeah, that's true
because
too.
I never animated something this, like, serious or intense,
So
so I
you'd
just
say,
sorta.
yeah. So this was like your, would you say this is your biggest project you worked on? I think it's
Yeah,
your longest
definitely.
one, right?
Certainly longest.
Okay, that's what I thought. Alrighty, here we go. Woo! Okay.
Yeah,
Wait.
so
Okay, yeah, you
this
say,
little
you say.
intro sequence, um, I faced a bit of difficulty coming out of, Resolve, which is the last animatic I did,
Yeah.
because I have this habit of picking up my animatics where the last one left off, but I
Yeah.
didn't think that would work with this one because the song just starts out so intense,
Bam, bam, bam.
and I left off with Wilbur and Tommy on the bench, so that would not have fit at all. So I just
Yeah.
said, "Hey, I'm gonna do, like, a title sequence. I've never done that. That sounds cool."
Do you, so do you like kind of decide like the theme of the animatic, then choose the song, or does the song kind of help choose how it goes? I guess like when do you choose the
Usually
song?
usually the song is the first thing, and the animatic will be structured and centered all around the song, but this one was
Okay.
different because 2 other songs were gonna be the one that I used before I settled on this final one, which
No,
turned out to be a bit of a mess, actually.
because I just love the songs you've chosen for all these animatics, like Innocence, Desolate, Resolve. Like really like all the songs too.
Yeah, they're all, like, some of my personal favorite songs that get picked.
Nice, of course.
I mean,
Egg.
Egg.
Yeah, I think.
I wasn't Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't sure, if I was gonna include any lore about the egg in this animatic. Looking back, I'm really glad that I did, but I was sort of hesitant because it's not part of Tommy's main story, and I usually animate
Yeah, you've been
mostly
sticking
what
with that.
Tommy's doing.
Well, I'm certainly glad you did, because that
Yeah,
how I got my little feature. But we'll get to
yeah.
there. We'll get there.
And this section with the egg, scrolling up into, believe it's Ponk's tower. This was one of the hardest sections to edit. I don't know
Really?
why, but, like, making those 2 frames connect was really difficult for some reason. I think it took most of my time.
So this right here, like that was like your biggest chunk of time
Yeah.
working on it.
Yeah, it was the first panel I started editing, and I was like, "Oh god, this is gonna take me so long."
No, like right here though, this is just like really cool as well. How long, like just like for this, like would it take to just like draw this all out and stuff?
I don't the simple background panels probably take, like, 40 minutes to an hour, I'd say.
Uh-huh.
They're the easier ones. I've said it before that I could probably write a formula to determine how long a panel would take based on how many characters are in it, so it's really just, how many faces do I need to draw? That adds, like, an hour each.
Okay, so it's like when you add characters, that's when it gets a little more messy.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm. Oh, the quick. So is that like showing like what's this? Like the quick like transitions, like something bad's happening or
Yeah, I was sort of trying to build, a bit of unease if the song wasn't doing it already. I just
okay.
wanted there to be a, okay, that's not good.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha. The classic bench.
Yeah, and that's sort of, I was originally gonna have that panel be the very first one that shows up, to connect it to Resolve, but
Yeah,
I just couldn't get it to fit with the song, so I was like, it'll be, the third maybe.
yeah.
Oh yeah, and that was, I was desperately trying to find a way to connect the egg part to the scene on the bench, and I was like, okay.
Oh
So
yeah,
Tommy's
Sim.
mentioned before, uh, he's had some issues with the egg, like he's gone and said, "Oh, I'm gonna go break it," and never has. So
Mm-hmm.
I said, so I thought maybe just having him display some visible unease about the vines creeping closer to his, like, areas. So that was what my idea
Oh,
was with
okay.
the
Okay.
shoe, just to connect the two scenes.
Yeah. So right here though, is this like does this take place right kind of like after the prison? Is that what this is?
This was sort of right after they get back from the big disc confrontation. So this scene in
The
my head
disc.
is
Okay.
this scene in my head is after Wilbur leaves the bench. So they're still there, like, after that huge aftermath, and you can see that Tubbo's got, like, a bandage on his head, and Tommy's got a
Yeah,
bandage
yeah,
on his
yeah. That's
cheek.
kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, so definitely some fighting. Okay.
Yeah,
There, the first shatter. The
the
first
first little indication.
is that kind of a tough thing, or do you have like a program to help kind of animate that?
There's a plugin in my editing program called Shatter,
Uh-huh.
or yeah, I mean, I think it's just called Shatter.
Oh, that's
Um,
convenient.
yeah, and it's a little unwieldy to work with, and it takes forever to render out the final project, but it does really well, and it looks pretty solid considering everything.
No, just like when I see these kind of details, like I just always kind of think like how long does like that take to do? And like it's just like that little extra effort just to like doing that little thing right there is just cool and really adds like the whole thing when you're going through it.
Yeah, I had so many plans going into it of how many different scenes would involve, like, a shattered
Yeah.
look to it, and I was worried that I'd have to do it by hand, like, animate each shattered piece moving, but then I found that plugin, and it was just, oh, big
And
relief.
woohoo!
Everything got so much easier.
All right, so classic, just dream red hand. The red hand. Okay, this is what like something like I like. What exactly is like the symbolism of the red hand? Like when you have red, like what exactly like, in your head like does that really mean? Is that something
I
I've
u
always noticed in your animatics?
Yeah, I use the red sort of indiscriminately to represent something that causes distress or unease to the characters that I'm centering the story around. So maybe, like
Okay.
when I'm animating Tommy's sections, it's gonna be Dream who's red, but also like other things will appear as red, like the vines or anything that he sees as quote unquote bad. Um,
Okay.
which is it's sort of like simplistic and almost childlike in its simplicity that way, but also that sort of really helps drive the point home that each character has their own individual take on what's good and what's bad.
Okay, so yeah, that's like a little bit more like in depth than I was thinking. Because at first, I didn't really think about that way. I wasn't thinking like it was like really showing perspective. I thought it was like, okay, Dream, bad guy, he's red or something. But then like this one, when I saw, I was like, there's some more moments. There's like Rambo for a moment, like it's like red, um, and things like that. I'm like, okay, maybe there's more to it. It's not just simply bad guy. Okay.
And the point of that,
Hotel, right?
oh, the hotel. This was probably one of the first panels that I drew for the animatic. I sort of work uh, at random sections
Oh
throughout
yeah,
the
I've never even thought
project.
about that. So you don't go from like beginning to end. You kind of like you'll just kind of like have an idea and then you'll know you'll use it, but then fit it in later.
Yeah, this animatic was sort of a messy production because I mentioned that I had two other songs that I might have used instead.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, the I originally storyboarded the entire animatic for one of those other songs and got like halfway through all the panels, and then I realized in the middle that I didn't want to use that song anymore, so I went
Oh,
and found a new one.
and I'm
So
getting
it
that
just
just throws off everything.
yeah, it totally restructured everything.
That's what I was gonna say too. So before you really start putting it together, you put together a storyboard and you like have like rough sketches of what you want to do first, or is it kind of just what you want to do and then you draw it? Or I don't know if that made
Um,
sense.
yeah, usually I do thumbnails, which for me just means really messy sketches. I'll basically draw a bunch of rectangles and then just fill
Okay.
them with any ideas I have for panels, no matter how messy. I'll just like block in shapes. And then I'll go through and organize them on a different piece of paper and just pick out the ones I like, which ones don't work, and how to like stitch them together. I'll write some notes on it.
Okay. Okay. Bada bing, hotel done.
Oh yeah. I like those fast cuts
No,
that
but it's
happen
about to
between
say
the
it's like
hotel progression.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Do you like?
the
Oh yeah, say what you're gonna say first.
it sort of emphasizes to me how the beats of the story happened at this point. Like I like timing my animatics to how long the events feel in my head. Like
Okay.
I felt like the hotel got built like in a bunch of successive streams really quickly. Like you'd
Oh
come
yeah,
on to
yeah,
the
yeah.
next
You'd
stream
come
and it'd
back and
be,
be like, oh, there
be
it
like, whoa,
is.
totally done. Whoa, that's crazy.
Sam Nook is works wonders.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Sam Nook, that part is like one of like the
Oh my
saddest
gosh.
parts.
This is
But
one of my favorite
yeah,
parts.
we'll get to that. I was like, oh, Sam Nook. And do you typically like try to provide like some kind of movement during like each kind of I don't know, not like clip, but like right here you have like the grass moving, just like a very nice little detail.
Yeah, just a little bit. If I don't have any animated sections, I at least try to get some camera movement in there, like
Yeah.
three-dimensional